Okay. Right. So, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ربي زدني علما. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. So, as you know, like we are in the month of Shaban, and this, I mean, on the next Sunday we'll be having Ramadan. So I thought like we will, have a quick overview of Ramadan just to recall ourselves what we do. So that's why we are considering. I mean, we are discussing about Ramadan. Like we were doing Tahara, so I have completed my. I mean, prepared my lecture. I have not delivered it fully here, so I hope like after Eid when we have mainly the focus for that is for teenagers. So there are a few more things which I have added, which are of course we know, but it's good to recall for us and for mainly for teenagers. So if they have any questions, anything to ask, so that will be useful for them. So inshallah, that we will do after Ramadan. And for today, we are just recalling things which we do during Ramadan, which we already know, but just to recall ourselves. Okay. So since we are say three and three, six of you here. So what I would like you, so can you please tell like for 30 seconds, because we don't have enough time, or maybe for a minute, anything about Ramadan, okay, related to Ramadan that you would like to share. Okay. So can we start from Usman Bhai with you, please? Anything about Ramadan that we do, any experience and anything that we should do. Yeah. Okay. Right. That's very good. So thank you. So basically, what you have said, like, is we need to read Quran, okay, and we need to understand it as well, okay, in order to just to summarize this. Kamran, anything about Ramadan?
Just try to do as many good deeds as you can. Try to help others if you can.
Okay. So try to be more good. Like we have to be good in our as a Muslim in our daily life, but we try to be more good, think more good, and of course we know like during the month of Ramadan the reward, the sawab goes higher. So any work that you do, yeah, yeah, control emotions. Okay, Asif.
Yeah, apart from this, the little meaning that we have in our mind about Ramadan, but what I am aiming for this Ramadan that I will be doing more in-depth knowledge of Quran with understanding. That is my focus on that, and the context as well. That okay, when the Quran came and how we can relate into the current and the coming time. That how this Quran is helping us. This is my intention to in-depth study in this Ramadan.
Yeah, that's very good, but that's been said. So you need to say something else. Okay, bring something new. Okay, Kashif, you please.
Okay, I guess there are two aspects to it. Number one is when Allah Ta'ala talks about Ramadan, He says in Quran that the, in the month of Ramadan, we need to fast because Allah Ta'ala wants taqwa from us eventually. This is the uh, final thing which we are looking at. This is our target. And there was, I think, one of the hadiths where it said that um, the um, Muslims, followers of Islam, they do all the other deeds for themselves, but Ramadan is something which is for Allah, and its reward is with Him as well. So that gives us a bit more motivation to do as good as possible during this time. Because if the reward is specifically with Allah, then eventually we want to get as much reward as possible from Him during this month. So these are the two things which come in my mind.
Okay, right. And you said about taqwa. So can you please explain it so that the one who don't know, what do you mean by taqwa?
Taqwa is um, okay. I don't know the literal meaning of this word,
Yeah.
but the thing which comes to
Whatever
my
your
mind,
understanding is, yeah.
yeah, thing which comes to my mind is getting in a purified form, getting something in a purified form. And I feel that without knowing the literal meaning, that's what Allah Ta'ala wants us to achieve, to purify ourselves.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. So that means like we want to increase ourselves more spiritually, get more closer to Allah.
Allah Subhanahu.
Okay. Adnan bhai.
Ramadan is a month of fasting. It's a month of blessing,
Hmm.
and it's a month of reward.
Hmm.
It's a sale from Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. But what we do is in a daily life, if we do that in Ramadan,
Hmm.
so we get more reward than we do other than Ramadan.
Hmm.
So also all the deeds we do,
Hmm.
Quran study, Quran reciting Quran, namaz, whatever we do, good deeds,
Hmm.
that is for ourselves.
Hmm.
But fasting is for Subhan, for the sake of Allah.
Yeah.
So that is the important of that fasting,
Hmm.
that we are doing for Allah, not for ourselves.
Okay.
And the reward will also give by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala.
Yeah.
So what we have to do is do more and more tawbah, because Allah Ta'ala opens their door,
Hmm.
because Satan is, as per our understanding, is being
Hmm.
jailed,
Hmm.
and Allah Ta'ala is open for us. So we have to do more and more tawbah. And all the people, we do, hidden or non-hidden sins.
Hmm.
But we always believe that Allah doors are always open for us.
Yeah.
And this is the month we have to do more and more close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so we get more reward.
Inshallah. Inshallah. Thank you very much.
बात तक सुनी थी?
Yeah. Vakil bhai.
हाँ जी, ये मोस्टली चीज़ें तो मेंशन कर दी हैं कि it's a very special month.
Can you please do it in English?
Yes.
Yeah.
So most of the things are mentioned.
Yeah.
It's as mentioned that it's month of Allah, and he will give the reward for this special month. So I think what the plan is that to read the Quran with better understanding and to
Yeah. Charity. Okay.
this month of Ramadan.
Okay, that's very good. So actually, what I was trying to do, I was trying to pick up, some new elements each time, the things that you have mentioned. But yes, you all have mentioned some very good things, so which are, of course, related to Ramadan and really important for it. Okay, so I've got the same thing, the similar things which you have, already we have already described here. So just to see something like that. So basically, it's. I quickly summarize because I'm conscious of time. We have already just got about 10 minutes. So it's the 9 month of Islamic lunar calendar. Okay, so that we know, and the significance of Ramadan. So basically, it is the month when the Quran was revealed. Okay, to Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, so that's the month, the month of Quran, that the Quran was revealed. Okay, it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Okay, so this is one of the pillars of Islam that you have to do fasting. Okay, then we have, of course, what we do in Ramadan, we do fasting. So when we do fasting, so we do not eat, any food. We do not drink anything from dawn to sunset. So we call it sahoor and iftar. Okay, so that's we do, and we, there is a reward if you do this sahoor and you do this iftar. Okay, because sometimes because of I know like the timing and weather things of people, sometimes they miss it. Okay, especially like during, like, I don't know, during the month of, like, when there is summer, so people, like, it's so early, so people don't get up. They just basically uh, like after iftar, so they just eat it and they don't get up for suhoor. But there is a reward sabab for getting up and basically arranging them. Okay, so there is a reward for that. Right. Of course, it promotes self-discipline, empathy, spiritual growth, as it's been already mentioned. There are exceptions as well, which are given here. For example, children. There are elderly people, or pregnant women, or breastfeeding women. So there is. It's not something that you have to do. It's. There is an exception for that. Okay, so if you think you fall into that, or so you can, there is always an exception for that. Spiritual reflection. So, for more increased prayers, reflection, and seeking forgiveness, as you just have mentioned. the nightly Travi prayers and recitation of the Quran during this month. Okay. Uh, Odd nights. You get odd nights during this month, which are better than the thousand of months. Okay, as it is given in Surah Qadr. Okay, so that is given in that surah. So I mean, if you remember, the people in old age or in previous time, so they used to have age of 900 years, 800 years. I mean, we know some of our prophets, so their age was this one, and if they do prayers, so how much like they prayed, and in current era, like 90 years, maybe 100 years, so you cannot compete with them. So that's why we have got these odd nights. So we need to make good use of those odd nights. Okay, so that's another thing I wanted to highlight.
It's in the last 10 days. Right?
Yes, last 10 days. Yeah. Yeah. uh, Community and charity. So, of course, you need to get more engaged in kindness, generosity, and support those who need help, those who do not have food, and so you can support them. You calculate your zakat, because that's where your zakat is. Every Ramadan, you calculate it for the how much money you have had, and there is a criteria for that. So we are not going into those details, but just reminding ourselves what we need to do. Okay. So zakat calculation and giving. Okay, so it's good. Like if you can give all of your zakat during this month, or it's up to you how you decided how you would like to give it. Okay, but we need to give it. Another thing, that is zakatul fitr, charity, that needs to be given before Eid prayers, when we go for our Eid festivities. So before Eid prayers, you need to give it, and the purpose is like the other people who cannot like. Celebrate those festivities, so they could be a part of that. Okay, so they have money to do that. So it's good to give that money beforehand. And basically, as you said, like it's you need to give it before Eid al-Fitr. Okay, so before your Eid prayers. Okay, so that's what we need to do. And then there are few more things, personal benefits during Ramadan. So we need to take advantage of that. For example, personal benefits in terms of the health. Okay, so Osman Bhai is here, so I mean he can let us know like what are the benefits, or like the people who have got diabetes and all those sorts of. So it's really important. Like these days, like they say, like you need to fast maybe during a week, one day or something. Like you'll see, like there are many videos like that. So it leaves good impact on your health. Okay, so it's not something that you are you are hungry and you are not eating things, but it's beneficial for your health. What is called detoxis, I mean yeah. So I think probably those kind of thing, I mean those sort of things. So basically it leaves a good impact. I mean, of course, I mean it's that's what we need to do in order to improve us spiritually, but at the same time it leaves good impact on the health. I mean, if you can do it. Of course, I'm not talking about the exceptions. Okay. Then like how how you can be supported in your offices, how non-Muslims can support. So in many offices, like they know about Ramadan, and they put like announcement on their some share portal or on their blackboards. Okay, for example, in my last place where I used to work, so they used to come email to all the staff that the Ramadan is starting, and you need to be mindful for Muslim staff, and they are fasting and all that. So there was that kind of norm. Okay, here I have not seen that, but in my current job, but in my previous job, that was the option. So you could share it with your line manager, or with in case like they are aware of, like, of course you are fasting, so there are sometimes you may not be uh, you know in that mental state or things like that. And of course you change your life pattern as well. You get up early for suhoor and things like that. So you can inform them, so that you can be supported on that. And most of the time people are supportive. Okay, so that's the thing I wanted to highlight. Then exercise and sporting activities. So I mean that can be done, like people say, like before of the activities that you do cardio and those things. So that's the best time if you like to do that. So that's another thing. So if you can do it, you can do it. But as far as I remember, I remember playing like right after Fajr prayer during Ramadan, playing cricket until until we go to school. So I mean, that's been there, and so is in the evening as well before iftar. So I mean, it's not something that if you are fasting, so you cannot do sport activities. And if you have a look at it, even in the UK, in some of the clubs, they who have the Muslim prayers, so they have they have stopped the match, and they have given them the time to do their aftar. Okay, so I mean, this has that happened. So you can have a you can search it on Google, and I mean, you will find it. So the people are supportive as well. Okay, so that's what I just wanted to highlight here. So anything you would like to say?
See, the Ramadan is hunger. Okay, why Allah want us to feel that hunger? That to that the poor people who don't eat from sometime all day just to feel their that how they feel.
Yeah.
So that's why people Allah Ta'ala want the rich people as well to feel their hunger, so that we can get close to those poor people.
Yeah.
And feel their pain, feel their that's why we want Allah want us to do more charity to them. So that is the also purpose.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, that's good. Right. Thank you. So these are the dua that we already know. So the first 10 day of Ramadan, that is like they like
First Ashra.
first 10 days of first Ashra. So basically that's for Allah's mercy. Like this is how it is divided. So there's the dua that we do. Rabbi ighfir warham anta khairur rahimin. I mean, you can do all these duas, but I don't know. In our books, we see them quite frequently. Like these for first 10 days, you must recite these duas. So Rabbi ighfir warham anta khairur rahimin, to ask for Allah's mercy. And then for the second day, this 10 days, which is for forgiveness, that you ask, you do tawbah with Allah. So forgiveness. So astaghfirullah rabbi min kulli dhanbin kulli dhanbi wa atubu ilayhi. Okay, so that's the second dua. And the last 10 days, that you mainly ask for Allah save you from hellfire. Okay, so Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Okay, so that's another dua, which is to save you from hellfire. Okay, so these are the dua for the for each of the 10 days of Ramadan. Okay, and of course during Ramadan we listen Quran, we read Quran. Okay, so in terms of like listening to Quran, there is a sawab as well. Okay, so we do Tarawih. Okay, so this is the dua which is done during like when you have said Tarawih. After, I mean, I'm not going into that 4 or 10, because some people do 10 Tarawih, some people do 20 Tarawih or so. But anyway, after this dua that you do after after Tarawih, you have said, so you can do this dua. So this is the dua: Subhanallazi zil mulki wal malakut, Subhanal zil izzati wal azmati wal haibati wal qudrati wal kibriya wal jabarut, Subhanal malik al hayy alladhi la yanamu wa la yamut, Subbuhun qudusun rabbuna rabbul malaikatu war ruh, Allahumma ajirna minan nari ya mujir ya mujir ya mujir. Again, in the end, you ask that Allah save you from hellfire. Okay, so that's the dua, and its meaning is given in the end. So that's what just a quick recap of Ramadan that I wanted to do. So just wanted to highlight. Of course, it can be done in more detail. For example, zakat, how to calculate it, on which thing zakat is due. So we are not going into those details right now, and we don't have time at this moment. But just wanted to give you a recap for myself and for all of us. So anything you would like to say on this? Any question that you have for this? So all right. So if there is no question, so we'll stop.